Welcome to the Sleep Dives channel. We're diving into a really fascinating section of profound stories by John Willis and Derek Lewis, and this one is all about the hidden systems that actually construct our reality. We're going to connect the dots between some classified science from World War II, the strange biology of how we see things, and the rebuilding of an entire nation to uncover something truly fundamental about our world. So let's kick this off with a central question. It sounds like the start of a pretty good riddle, doesn't it? A scientist, a frog, and an enigmatic nation builder. On the surface, they have absolutely nothing in common. But stick with me, because their stories weave together to show us a powerful truth, that systems don't just shape our world, they literally create it. Our first story starts with a man named Vannevar Bush. Now, you might have caught his name in the movie Oppenheimer, but honestly, calling him a supporting character doesn't even begin to do him justice. This guy was one of the key architects of the modern technological world we live in today.
See, the thing about Bush was he wasn't just an inventor. He was a master organizer of science. I mean, look at his career. He co-founds Raytheon, then he's put in charge of the entire U.S. scientific effort during World War II. We're talking the Manhattan Project, the development of radar, the whole shebang. You start to see a pattern. He wasn't just building things, he was building the systems that allowed other people to invent on a scale never seen before. But you know, his most visionary idea was probably something you called the Memex. Think about this. Decades before the internet was even a dream, he was imagining a machine that could store and link all of human knowledge, kind of like how our own brains jump from one idea to the next. He wasn't just dreaming up a new gadget. He was designing a new system for thinking itself. Bush knew the future wasn't about the what, but about the how we organize information.
Okay, so Bush showed us how we can design systems for knowledge. Now we're going to pivot and look at a biological system, one that's been around for millions of years. And this one reveals something even deeper about how reality itself is put together. And believe it or not, it all starts with a frog.
John Steinbeck just nails the feeling here. It makes you wonder, right? What if perception isn't passive? What if the eye's job isn't just to see a twinkling star, but to actually make it twinkle? This is exactly the kind of question that was driving the work of a biologist named Humberto Maturana.
Maturana used the story of Don Quixote to frame this idea. He said we have two choices. There's praxis, which is basically acting in the world as it is. And then there's poesis, which is about creating your own world to act in. Don Quixote, well, he chose poesis. He saw giants where everyone else saw windmills. So the question is, was he just crazy? Or was his personal system of perception just creating a different reality? And all of this led Maturana to this incredible concept he called autopoiesis. Now, it's a bit of a mouthful, but it simply means self-creating. It describes a living system that doesn't just adapt to its environment. It actually produces and maintains itself, defining its own reality from the inside out. And here's the punchline. Through his research, Maturana found that a frog's eye isn't a camera sending a perfect picture to the brain. Not at all. It's a cybernetic system that filters reality. It is hardwired to see one thing and one thing only: small, dark, moving objects. So a frog could be surrounded by perfectly good food, dead flies, and it would starve to death. Because to the frog system, if the fly isn't moving, it literally does not exist. The frog's biology creates a reality where only moving things count as food. Right. Now let's take that really powerful idea that a system can create its own reality and apply it on the scale of a whole nation. After World War II, Japan was completely devastated. It needed to do way more than just rebuild some buildings. It needed to create an entirely new reality for itself. And at the absolute heart of Japan's post-war miracle was this organization called JUSE, the Union of Japanese Scientists and Engineers. But the man who founded it, the guy who made it all happen, Kenichi Koyanagi, well, he's a ghost. A total mystery. This here is the official biography from JUSE. Just have a look. We've got when he was born and when he died. But what about the first 37 years of his life? It is a complete and total blank. For a man this important, that's not just a little bit odd. That's a story being deliberately hidden. So, by piecing together a few clues, the authors speculate that Koyanagi was this forward-thinking intellectual who likely ran afoul of Japan's rising militarism in the 20s and 30s. The very ideas that would one day help rebuild his country were probably seen as dangerous dissent, and it's likely he was imprisoned by the infamous thought police.
He was a man completely out of step with the system of his time. So there we have it, a systems architect, a self-creating biological system, and a mysterious rebuilder of a nation. So how do these three threads actually connect? Well, they're all pieces of a much bigger puzzle, components of what the authors call a system of profound knowledge, which is really a framework for understanding how the world is truly built.
It builds like this. First, Vannevar Bush shows us that we can consciously design systems to organize information and achieve incredible things. Second, the frog's eye proves, on a biological level, that a system's design literally defines the reality it can even perceive. And finally, Kenichi Koyanagi puts it all into practice. He builds a new system, JUSE, that allowed Japan to stop seeing itself as a defeated nation and create a brand new reality as a world leader in quality in manufacturing.
So, this is the crucial takeaway. It's a massive shift in thinking. We aren't just passive puppets living inside systems like our jobs, our governments, our beliefs. The very systems we participate in, the ones we build and the ones we just accept, are actively constructing the world we experience every single day.
And that leaves us with one last powerful question to reflect on. Just take a look at your own life. What are the unspoken rules, the processes, the mental models that you operate with every day? What systems at your job, in your family, or even just in your own patterns of thought are defining the boundaries of your world? Because if a system can create a reality, then changing the system can change everything.